waiting for Christmas. Yeah. Right? However, I have no questions for us. So today, we're going to be talking about that had a downward fire. I know I'm a reviewer for that, but I'm not the first. You play great games. Oh wait, it's actually a very good game you should play now.
Sonic has had some of the most ups and downs I've ever seen. I would say he started to decline after Heroes, but definitely was not received well when Sonic 06 came out. Of course, this was obviously because the game was rushed beyond belief, and the people who were working on Sonic 06 went on to make Secret Rings instead. But hey, now let's not dive into that topic now, because what I'm about to introduce you to what, in my opinion, is peak Sonic. Sonic Adventure may have been released in 1999 or 1998 for Japan people, but god damn it, it was so impressive for the console it was on, and because it was a launch title for Sega's brand new console, the Dreamcast. After the Sega Genesis, it turned out that Sega was a bit behind the industry, as with their next console, the Sega Saturn, was capable of playing 3D games, thus making it a console that sold terribly. Although it was capable of playing some 3D games, but not mostly. But the Sega Dreamcast is looking like to be the star of the show here. It could play 3D games and finally compete with Nintendo and Sony. They didn't. Yes, while the Dreamcast was a very underrated console, I mean seriously, why the hell is this not on the Switch on my expansion pack? Come on. Sonic Adventure was a launch title for the thing, and it looked so crazy at the time, and to this day, was the hardest Sonic game to make according to Sonic Team. But damn was the wait worth it. There was multiple character stories that connected to several events, fantastic stages, and fantastic looking visuals at the time. I can imagine Sonic fans saying the first level and having their jaw be absolutely dropped. But of course, my time with Adventure 1 didn't mainly come from the character stories, it was actually the Chao Garden of all things. A feature that was never seen again after the first two Adventure games.
However, there are more versions of the garden than just the Adventure games.
So I'm going to take a look at each garden that I can think of. First up, yeah, this is happening. When this was the first game to introduce Chao to everyone, they were sort of part of the plot in the game. Not really much, but where they really shine is with the Chao gardens they live in. Chao are made out of clear water, don't believe me? Why does Sonic Runners say that then? However though, they're made of literally water. They cannot swim. At least when they hatch. You see, this is where the animals that you collect in the main game become useful, because upon finishing a level and going to the garden, you can give the animal to them and it will raise their stats. There are a total of 3 gardens in Adventure 1. There are the Station Square Garden, which you can find by going inside of the elevator from the first hotel. The second one is in Mystic Ruins, and you go there by taking a minecart somewhere in the... but it's been a while since I've visited the Ruins Garden, honestly. And finally, the Egg Carrier one, which is located upstairs of the Egg Carrier. Then eventually find a thing that has letters. Spell Eggman, and you're set. Although, one of the most interesting changes that they made between the Dreamcast version and the DX version is that they changed the Ruins and Carrier Gardens, and also the Station Square, but that one's not really that much of a big difference. Like, a whole bunch. Kinda is boring, honestly. I mean, you got this cool bridge and all that when it comes to Ruins, and then you got all these, insane things. Like, just compare the two. And then we got the Carrier Garden, which, what the hell happened here? We went from having this extremely cool underwater thing to just being barely even shallow water and not even places to go up. I mean, I feel like they made it like this so that way you'd actually be able to pick up your Chao out in the water, which makes a lot more sense. Anyway, onto the Chao themselves. There's 5 stars. There's 5 exact stats, and 2 hidden ones. There's Swim, which when you get 100 points, instead of them just really drowning, it will begin to swim. Then there's Fly, which also does the same thing. Get 100 points using animals, and it will start flying instead of falling. Run is next, and it's pretty important, but we'll get to that later. This one has actually 3 stages. There's crawling, walking, and running, although I'm not too sure what the requirement is for the running though. And then of course it's just 100 points for walking. Then there's power, which, well, makes the thing more powerful, and there's no requirements on that. Basically, for just literally 0 points, your Chao will be able to climb and do all of that. And if you're playing the Dreamcast version, there's a stat called HP, which means instead of going up, it goes down. How does it do that? Well, only it goes down if you start throwing it, and if it reaches 0, the Chao dies. Pretty damn depressing, as this is the only game where you can achieve total Chao extinction. Now get serious, when you get bored of just racing these guys, and you think they're good enough for, just think your stats are good enough, it's time to take on the races. There's several races in the first adventure game that test each ability that your Chao has, and you're gonna have to get first place, otherwise it's gonna count as a loss. And damn, are your first game's races hard. I have my stats so high, and welp, my Chao fell asleep. Time to start over! The sleeping gimmick is so annoying, especially when it happens right when you're near the finish line. These are nearly 3-minute long races that if you fail, you have to watch all over again, all because your Chao fell asleep. Absolutely terrible. I guess there's one more thing to mention about the races, is that not only are they stupid hard, but they count towards completion too, since you get emeralds, which are of course, you get from completing levels in the base game. And then there's this thing that happens randomly where sparks appear around the Chao, and pressing A proceeds to boost the damn thing. I mean, we were getting fucked by the crazy level design, and I had to deal with my Chao falling asleep all the time. Come on, I want you to win, why would I be trying to help you? Anyway, that's all I gotta say about Adventure 1's Chao Garden. Overall, not too bad, but I give it a 7 out of 10. The races are way too long, and there really isn't much to do after that. Music's a bop, though. Alright, now it's time to move on to the next game.
Your shoddy craftsmanship brings shame on all hedgehog kind.